Hey guys, what's up? My name is EJ, and welcome to our latest episode of our Footy Fantasy podcast. With me, I have Idris. Say hi to the camera, and we'll have more guests coming along, but we're excited to get the show kicked off today. Before I start, I want to plug our social media handles. Okay, so if you don't follow us already, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube where you get all this content. It's available on YouTube like a day later. On Twitter, we're pretty active on Twitter. Our handle is footy@fantasy. And on Instagram, we're also active as well. So engage with us and like, share, follow. Um, Okay, so I'll be honest and I'll admit that I did not watch the game. I'm very upset that I didn't. Just wasn't able to, but I'm glad I have Chelsea fans to tell me what happened. I don't understand because what I saw the score line at 3-all, and I was like, I don't think I've seen City concede 3 goals. And then the game ended 4-all, which means they conceded 4 goals. And I definitely don't believe I've seen City concede 4 goals.
Because
So
apparently there's a stat I have. There's a stat I have for you here. For Pep as a manager, in his 882nd match as a manager across all competitions, this has been the first time Manchester City boss Guardiola has seen his side concede 4 or more goals in the same game. So this was wild. This was actually wild. That was shared by one of our diligent Chelsea toxic fans, David. It was a wild game because it's everything. Like we could have won this game, EJ. That's the crazy part about this whole thing. This game, we could have won this game. That was the part that still really blew in everybody's mind. They had a penalty. We had conceded early enough, funny, and we just thought, no, it's gonna be a rout, right? The boys came back again, and they kept coming back, and that's the crazy thing. Like it was just like we just kept coming back, and I think at some point City just ran out of ideas of like, at this point is who scores more. That was where it just got to who's going to score more and who has more patience. And we had one very wicked deflection, which was to me just unfair. All right. There was a penalty given to City, which again to me was unfair. But it's a penalty in the sense of like Cucurella just had a brain dead moment, right? But he was fouled. And that's the thing we're going to talk about again, like VAR's consistency. He was fouled before he dragged Haaland down because Haaland had dragged him first. Then when he couldn't get free, so he tried to drag him down. The ball comes in, Thiago Silva knocks it out. Ref calls a penalty. Okay. So it's kind of like you look at it, you're like, oh, that was harsh, but technicalities, it's a foul. But he was fouled before that.
A whistle could have gone up. Play could have been dead. Yes.
Dead, exactly. So when you count that, we should be like, according to the goals scored out, then we had a scenario 1-on-1. Gusto actually balloons the ball. So that was like, it could be like in 5-2 if the gods of soccer were on our side. So massively, man. Like this is for a pessimistic guy right now about where we are. This is massive for us. Like you have no idea, girl.
Going into the match, what were your predictions? Because I don't know.
My predictions going into the match was very poor. I was just thinking something respectfully, but like City coming from a 6-1 slaughter, I thought if we get like 3-1, we're good. 4-1, still respectful. You know what I mean? Like I'm being honest. 4-4? Nah, didn't see that coming. Did not see that coming.
So, okay, hang on. Let me take some comments because they are coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Facebook people said, but boy, you let moderator moderate now. Oh, yeah, you got excited to tell me about what happened. That's cool. Don't worry. Idris can even moderate the show. They said, Idris, my man. Yeah, that was a very soft penalty for City. Ola. We all know Ola is our resident. I think he's unbiased as far as like telling us if things were soft or harsh.
Yeah.
So if he says it's soft, I agree that it was soft. And I saw the comments on social media. I saw the post-match reactions from what's his name? The guy, former Sterling, Raheem Sterling,
yeah.
Palmer, and they were both saying that Chelsea could have not easily, but could have potentially won the game. So it seemed like things could have fallen, like you just said, things could have fallen into you guys' path, and then you guys could have won. So, I mean, that's great for Chelsea, right? That bodes well because you guys won. You beat Tottenham last week. Was it Monday or so? So 2 big games in 2, and I'm pretty sure everyone said you guys are going to be -6 on both. Well, no one would have given you 4 points out of these 2 games. So that's
And we were saying -6. You don't even need to throw us. Like Chelsea does well playing. Very true. Very true. That person is a Chelsea fan. Whoever that sounds like David. Put your name in the please put your name with your comments.
who
Your
you
comments
are.
on Facebook. Let's know who you are. But Chelsea struggles with teams with a low block. That is David. That sounds like
If you're David, tell us you're David, okay? Is it David? My friend David. Houston
Yeah,
David.
David.
Okay.
no, is it Houston? No, not Houston David. Dallas David.
Okay, my bad. Texas David.
Oh yeah. Texas David. Yeah.
I thought they all live in Houston.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody, yeah, you think so.
Who
But
can play open can get it. Got it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a segue to our game, because if you looked at our matchups after the last international break, right? Like
David said it's not him, it's not him, but it is Adebayo. Okay.
Oh, it is Adebayo.
Hi, David.
Hi, David. Which is very interesting, because we all agreed on that. Because initially, in the beginning of the season, we were pretty excited about what we could do. We had a team that every coach struggled with in terms of finishing. We literally sold everything, the furniture, the mama, and whatever that had to go with. It's like everybody going. Then we got these new boys, and yes, we do understand aside Sterling, James, the guys from the academy, and probably Thiago Silva. Everybody has not played together before, so you're gonna have issues where they are understanding and blending into what the coach has for them. But then we just hit that slump of where you realize how very young and inexperienced these boys are. Like watching with my family here, they're like, you could totally, it was like you could see the inexperience in the boys and decisions that they were making. If that was a finished product, City's getting, forgive my language, their ass handed to them today significantly, significantly, because you look at to me, City is a finished product, right?
Yes.
It's drilled into them. You look at Chelsea and you're like, man, we're picking these guys apart and we're missing chances. And you're like wondering, what if we were as matured? What if they had played together for 2-3 years? What would have happened? You know what I mean? So, yes, we do struggle against teams that sit in defense. Maturity. They have no idea what to do with it. I think Arsenal has been through that. Liverpool has been through that. I think United also struggle with teams that play possession football. Once there's a block, naturally the players feel like they have to go around the block, not go through the block. So
looking at the stats, you guys had 17 shots compared to 9. You're pretty much
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We outshot City. Madness, fam. And the cool thing is on target. we had on target. It was like 17 to now. Like we are on target.
Shots on target, they edged you out, but
what was the shot on target? Just curious.
9 for Chelsea, 10 for City. 17 shots altogether for y'all. And 15 for City.
As we used to call ourselves, the XG gurus. Like we just be XG now. We out of games. It's like. Ooh. Oh man!
But yeah, any particular moments that stand out? I mean, 2 penalties. I saw our friend, the referee, Anthony.
Easy.
Match. He hates you guys so much. What would you say on average? How was his performance?
For the level of hatred he has for us, we would say average. I can't even give him above average. But all in all, English to me, and this might also be my bias.
And we will segue into that. So I will stop you when you talk too much about refs.
Refs, yeah.
Gusto should have scored, and you did say that.
Yeah, okay. So that would have put that was such an open. It was just him and the goalie,
Okay.
He had a great game besides the penalty. Yep.
That's Adebayo, I guess. Yes.
Yeah.
And he's referring to the ref.
You know what? Fair to him, because he's been worse. When something has been so bad in the past, and then the person is bang average and they're doing the job, you're like, oh my god, he's actually amazing. It's like, no, he's actually just
could be worse.
You know what I mean? He's just average.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go to the next topic while we wait for Benny. When Benny comes, he can share his thoughts with us. Chelsea's best player of the season so far, and why?
Conor Gallagher.
Okay.
Conor freaking Gallagher. Anybody that brings up any other person's name, run them over. They don't know what they're saying. This was a guy we were about to sell on a buy one get one free. We were willing to put this guy on any player that goes out the door. You want Connor? You want anybody? Connor too is here. And I think in even the Chelsea group we were in, we debated a lot about the midfield. If you remember last season, I was known as a Jorginho hater, right? Everybody was like, he just says, but he's in your team right now, and you see his efficiency in what he does for you guys, right?
Yeah, sure.
You can still be like, okay, this Chelsea guy is suspect, right? I get it. Yeah. Every Arsenal fan feels some type of way.
I need to wipe that from my memory. What is that?
He's a unique kind of player, but I think Arteta, Pep, like coaches, get the best out of that kind of player.
Gotcha.
Once you're not that kind of coach and you come in with Jorginho, you're going to pass side to side till that kingdom. I just call him project manager. He manages the game. His job is not here to get assists. He scores goals. He is efficient in that. Now, in that sense, why I'm mentioning Conor Gallagher here is because before the season, we thought it was an asset we could sell to balance the books or sell to bring some other people in. We bought a whole bunch of 21-year-olds, 20-year-olds, and even Enzo Fernandez, for such a talent that he is. If you go look at his stats, he's only had one full season with Benfica.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like, it feels like, he's been playing. Like, no, he played in Argentina. He came one season in. Then we bought the guy after the World Cup, and you expect that guy to be like what, prime Kevin De Bruyne? Nah, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. He's young. He's an exceptional talent, but he's not the guy right now that is just going to bust the midfield at De Bruyne level, that Silva level, Hernandez level. It's just not that guy right now. That being said, same thing for Caicedo. He's good enough as a 19-year-old, one massive season for Brighton. He's not a top 4 level CM. Right now, he has the talent, but he's not that right now. So to put so much pressure, Benny, welcome. Can you hear us?
You can hear us.
We can't hear you.
Technical difficulties with Benny.
Yeah. So he's good.
I know why. He's going to shout at someone, but
there are people on the comment section waiting for Benny's reaction. They're like, we need to hear it.
At least you all drew today, so you really can't have much to say that's negative anyway. See, his name says skeptically positive, so I think we're
skeptically positive. And I'm with him on why he's skeptical. I'm with him on why he's skeptically positive. Like, he's been right on so many other things. But so have we.
Someone said, looking at God, literally meeting our enemy.
I swear to God, that's David's burner account. That's David's burner account.
It's still Adebayo.
It's Adebayo. I was going to say that's David's burner account. Adebayo should show his face.
Someone said, and I guess Adebayo agrees with you. Cole Palmer will give him a run, but Connor might edge him.
I'll say why Cole Palmer, not the game of. Was the question man of the match? Is that I need somebody from our group. But I'm going to say the question is, who is the best player
of the season
now?
Yeah.
So far, if it's of the season so far, it has to be what's his name? It has to be Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher has played every wing possible from the midfield up front. Right? Yeah. And we can't hear you, Ben. Yeah. Okay. So it's like he's played every wing, pivot, 3, box to box. He's been shifted to the wings. He's done everything with a smile on his face. This is a guy that, like, in all fairness, and it's very sad, like how sometimes clubs could be ruthless, and it is business at the end of the day. It is what it is. He wants to stay. It's the same situation you see with the likes of Fikayo Tomori when he wanted to stay. The likes of even Tammy Abraham. They wanted to stay. Yeah. But the club was just like, we could get somebody better. We could offload you as a good asset, go grow somewhere of that, then come back. Right? And with him, up until the preseason, I believed he was leaving before the window would close. Mm. And as God will have it, as they say, players got injured significantly. And he was used everywhere, and he did it above average. So when you look at such determination of the player, such maturity in the sense of how he applies himself to the game, then you have to look around the other team and be like, okay, what's up with you? I know you're 21, but I need to see you apply yourself wherever you find yourself. Cole Palmer had a situation today. If he had laid the ball quickly to Conor Gallagher, it was a one-on-one situation. He didn't. That would have been goal number 6, just like Gusto. So those are scenarios you look at that like, we will never have this opportunity with a very top team. You know what I mean? Like when it's like, if you just laid the ball, that was a goal or an attempt on goal. Those opportunities don't come very often.
Right.
So Conor Gallagher, it is for me throughout the entire season. Wherever you wanted him, he delivered.
Do you agree with Adebayo when he says, I think at the end of the season it will be Cole Palmer? Because we have the chance to usurp Connor at the end of the season.
I'll play the season so far. Honestly, I think in the end of the season, possibly yes, because goal scorers get goal
Yeah, they
scorers
get more accolades.
yeah, and I'm more biased accolades based on the fact that I agree that Gallagher has been stand up. Yep.
Standout player for the season for me, the most influential is Cole Palmer. Yeah, I think it sounds like a tie at this point. I feel like everyone's either or.
So that's another thing again. The Cole Palmer kid comes into the Chelsea lineup as a reject from Manchester City looking for playing time. He ain't breaking into the Man City's team. That's not freaking happening. like you know. And then he comes and it's the same situation with Chelsea where Chelsea loses players and they just freaking blossom in other teams. Oh, it looks like
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yes.
Can hear us.
Okay, here's what's mad. You can hear me, but I can't hear you now. This is stupid.
What is this?
This is crazy. This is good. Do you want to dial in with your phone?
I'm literally gonna cry. Like,
Can you use your phone? Can you use your phone?
Use your phone.
I really cannot hear you. So just continue. I'll figure out a way to make this work.
Yeah, send him
I just did. Yeah. So it's like that's the bias of I think call him Cook Palmer. Yeah. Because, it's also a running joke we have about.
Oh, y'all do call him that?
we make fun of Conor Gallagher, right? Confusion in the camp of my head.
I am so tough.
So I would say for Conor Gallagher, everybody used to make fun of Conor Gallagher, call him, wait, all is well when we don't want to hear what he has to say. You're coming for it. Benny, you have to come online because any mistake. So basically it's when you actually look at the way the boy plays for his age, he's a natural talent. Yeah. You can't take that away from him. It's like watching Bukayo Saka coming, and he's supposed to just be a kid.
How old is Connor?
Who, Connor? Connor's 25.
He's 25?
I think he's 25 right now.
He's an adult. They're not children.
Actually, let me check.
That seems old. He's older than Declan Rice.
Oh no, maybe not. I may be wrong. Hold on. He is 23. My bad. Because he will be 25. It's Tammy Abraham. That set of Tammy Abraham and Mason Mount at 25. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the
so 25. So look at that. He's 23. Look at what he's pulling.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, Palmer is 19.
Palmer is 19?
That's what you see, man. Like, I don't think people are seeing like, our boys are not. It's like,
okay. I mean, I know, I understood that Chelsea went and bought 15 kids.
Until we went to go buy kindergarten. Like, that was what we went to go and buy. When people are like, "Oh, you guys will be ready when they jail," I'm like, "These boys are still drinking breast milk. Like they have biscuit bone. If they get injured, they get seriously injured."
Right. Well, at least they will heal. There's something about that.
They will heal, but it's also bad if they are recurring injuries. That's one fear we have for Rich James.
That wouldn't be good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Rich James.
Is he still unfit?
Rich James got pulled out 68 minutes, and it was deliberate. And at that time, I think we were even like a goal down. But I was okay with it. I was like, see, this was a game I did not expect us to win. But this is a game that... You said Palmer is 21? No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, that is...
No. Oh, he's 21.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's fine if he's 21.
He's 21. Yeah, he's 21. I honestly thought he was turning 20. 19, 20. He's 21. So then it makes sense. He's in that age area which
Yeah.
because the way he plays, in all fairness, is very, I wouldn't say very mature yet, but his awareness is far, like the gulf of awareness that kid has is far from any other Chelsea player right now. His positioning, he plays like a Pep player.
Mm.
You could see the difference. You could literally see the difference. Like
He's 15 years at City. How long has he been at City?
bro, he's been grinded. Like, you know, this boy can see passes 5 plays ahead.
Okay, this guy says,
And
he says, today's Raheem was prime. Running at that left, it was a beauty to watch. Looking at him as
yes,
the sleeper for Chelsea player of the season every year.
possibly.
A bit
In the beginning, yeah, this is why I would say this. Raheem has been around for so long. I think we disrespect the level of longevity that guy has given us. He started Liverpool, if I remember very well.
Yes, he was at Liverpool for years.
There you go.
For years. It's just and
for
he's only
years.
29. He's not even 30.
No, I think he's 20. I don't think he's 29 yet.
He was born in 94. So whatever that means, he's 29.
Yeah,
The year is almost over.
almost over for him. He's 28.
When's he turning 29?
December 8th.
Okay, his birthday is just coming up. Okay.
Yeah. So even the fact, yeah, you're still right, by the way, in terms of like the years.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
It all finished. Oh, it's over. My enemies want to silence me. Enemies want to silence me. They will not succeed. Yes, they will not
I would
succeed.
like to say, EJ, I will roll over to you to alley-oop
Yeah,
for
perfectly.
Ben, because this is the part I need to see. Ola is going to type out now. My boys, David, Dada, Yemi, they're all here. My brother, my sister, carry on.
We're going to rewind. Let's do a quick rewind because I do have time. I'll give you 5 minutes. Just give me your summary of the match, the game that happened today, Chelsea versus Man City.
Chelsea versus Man City. Well, going into it, so 2 things. I think it was a kind of a collective expectation that we'll get violated by City. But if anyone has watched our games this season, we know that we do well against bigger teams. We've seen that with Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham, and it's a function of the way those bigger teams play. They play expansive football. They come out to attack you. So the low block aspect of it there, it doesn't come into play in this case. And with kids as talented as we have talent, I'm not gonna lie, we have talented players. I will admit that they are talented. Some of them are overpriced. Yes, a lot of them are overpriced, but they're still talented. And when they're in a pitch where equally or maybe slightly more talented players are against them, there is that, okay, talent clashes with talent and we can play. It's when they have issues, when they meet really these OG players that are just wily foxes that are not as talented, but they know how to be disciplined, keep that low block and just hit you on the counter. That's when they have issues. But I wasn't too worried, and I said it, I think, in one of the last messages I put in the group that our man here is. I said that I don't expect us to lose by too much. This maybe 1-0 or whatever. Now I didn't see a 4-4 game. I didn't see us scoring that much. First of all, we scored 4 goals, and all 4 were deserved goals, not mixed cross or just a dodgy handball or whatever. These were legit goals, and I was impressed by that. That was the most impressive thing for me. And the fact that City had to get some dodgy calls on their favor to get the goals or whatever, it made me very happy, very very what was the word, optimistic of the future. But then again,
you hear no. You heard
the future.
It made me happy.
It made me hey, sound bites. It made me happy. Yes, it made me happy. I don't know why. David, go and focus on whatever else you are doing before this. Go and focus. Don't even watch this. Point is that I was impressed by Pochettino's setup, and first of all, I don't think that 3 of Gallagher, Enzo, and Caicedo should be playing at the same time. I think Gallagher should pair with one of the other 2, not both of them. I think that once you have Enzo in the, I don't want to go into too many
Agree.
details, but I am very, very impressed with what I saw. Now, should I say, okay, we played this well, so it's going to be smooth sailing from now on? Hell no.
No.
We still don't know how to deal with the low block. Like, who is next? Who is next on our list, Steph? I forget.
Let me check. Let me check.
But
I think it's
if
Newcastle
it's
also.
Oh yeah, it is
Newcastle,
Newcastle. It is Newcastle.
Yeah.
we might struggle against Newcastle a bit because they
Yeah.
have some good players. I'm not going to say they have like trash or like all these carpenters playing for them, but they have some good players with carpenters mentality. So those guys are quite
Yeah.
solid when it comes to like defense and when it comes to like positional awareness. If they come out and want to play expansive football with us, it works better for us. But this City game, I was very impressed by Pochettino. I was my man of the match was Sterling. I know Palmer won it, but my man of the match was Sterling. He played like a possessed demon today, like a demon possessed. Like I think it was personal for him. It seemed like it was a little personal for him, probably because of this being snubbed by the England call up or whatever.
England
But
club,
the
yeah.
way he played today was out of his mind. Kukurea was also immense, especially considering the fact that he had an early yellow card, but he played well. I don't know if he has like a list of all those top wingers in his house. That's okay. Today is Saka. Tomorrow is Foden. I'm going to deal with these ones, and then the people that actually get the best of him are the low level wingers from the other smaller clubs. But against today, he was terrific. I said Palmer, I said Sterling, I said Kukurea. Also, for the low IQ player he is, Jackson did well today. I'm not gonna lie. Like he did a lot of running. Let me finish. Let me land. Now, the issue is whenever he has the ball and he has to make a decision. That's when
Problem.
errors
It's a
start
problem.
coming in his head. When you give him
It's a
a ball
problem.
and say, okay, option here, option there. When you give him more than one option, while I did,
While I do, yeah.
if he has the ball and there's only one option, he will do well. But if there are multiple options, which is so often the case with strikers, he just like makes the wrong decision. But for all that, having said all that, he was running from minute zero till when he was
To
subbed.
the end.
He was
Yeah.
always hustling, fighting everything, and I will always commend effort. I mean, where brain will carry you reach, effort will carry you further than that. His brain didn't carry him so fast, so the effort took him a little further. So I can commend that. For instance, that Broha chance that we got the Broya with the PK, if that was Jackson, he would have tried to shoot that first time. He would have tried,
Yeah.
and that would have not gotten the result we got. I just wish Broya had Jackson's like body and durability. Then
I
we
don't even,
could.
I don't even think he'll have controlled the ball properly.
It would. But yeah,
He would have controlled the ball properly. Yeah.
but I was impressed. I was impressed with the link up play and everything.
EJ, don't go fast with that comment. There's one very, very too optimistic comment that I need to address.
I beg.
Last one. No. There's the last one.
The last one
comment.
that said, I didn't expect us
Please,
to lose
bro.
City because they are vulnerable. We're not matured enough to play low block teams because these boys don't know what they should be doing. They'd be passing back to the keeper.
All right.
I agree with the second half of the comment. The first part, bros, no.
I think that's a reach.
Like, yeah, that's a rich man.
Yeah, that's a far reach.
As in, I thought they were going to skew hours today. Ask the boys now. I did not plan to wake up to watch the game. I came to look.
I thought I thought they would beat us. I didn't think they would beat us that bad, but I thought they would beat us.
To be
But
honest,
like I also thought they would like overplay us, outplay us like a lot. That's what I expected more. I was shocked.
Actually,
I was pleasantly surprised by the way we played.
I actually expected us to lose bad, and I'll tell you why I expected us to lose bad. Like in the last couple of games, right? We had chances to score, so we've been scoring. Tottenham, even the last one that we lost. I mean, I think the Brentford one was their low block abnormality we talked about. Then the other games like with Arsenal and Luton, we would win, we would score, or we would lose and score. Why I was worried was against Tottenham, there was a new problem, a new fear, as they say, unlocked, new trauma unlocked. Before it was low block that was our problem. There's something called a high block right now. You understand where I'm coming from, Ben? It was such a trauma to watch. So Tottenham devised something that I think is ingenious. 2 men down, they put all their players on the line. Chelsea had nothing was in the brain to do 1-2 and run with it. Like they were looping the ball Constant. It was so painful to watch. Everybody that watched that game said, "I had no idea Chelsea was this bad." Like we won 4-1, right? But if you watch the game, it did not look like a 4-1 win. Like that was what it was. So coming to play City, I was like, City is going to open us. We are going to open them. I didn't expect us to score. Our XG is crap, and I know XG triggers Ben. Our XG is crap. But today we actually converted, as he said. Like we converted, which is wild. So that first statement is a bit average.
All right, I agree. Against Tottenham, I think it was just a lack of situational awareness there, or the lack of experience in that. Because the thing is, with that such a high line with 9 players, your what's it called? Your front line is already keeping that high line where it is. What happens is you have runners from like midfield or defense going
You would think
play them through, and Modric and whatever is quick enough to go there to collect the square pass, which is something I thought.
Offside.
I thought the first, honestly, I'm not going to come here and say I'm this professional player, but man, I'm like amateur, and I was like, okay, first time, second time, okay, now we know what's going on. Midfielders make the run, wing backs make that run, because your whoever is marking is not going to follow you all the way back. Make that run, break that first line, and it's smooth sailing from there. Kukurea did it one time and stopped doing it afterwards. I don't understand. Like it was crazy. But then when we come to the City game, Pep and his and I knew I thought we were gonna get outplayed, but I knew we weren't gonna get demolished in terms of goals, because first of all, De Bruyne, and for the 2 goals Haaland scored today, he hasn't really been himself since De Bruyne left. Let's be honest, he hasn't been getting those like pinpoint passes and everything. He hasn't been making those runs and everything. So De Bruyne being out of the equation here kind of softened the expectation for me. Like, okay, we're gonna get beat, but not that bad. So I'm really just surprised. Sterling, I didn't expect Sterling to come today. I don't know what he had, but he should drink it every morning before he comes to play any game for us. Cole Palmer is the truth. Moving him from the right to the middle, it was delightful to watch. It was delightful to watch. Now,
do you know a player that City is missing that made me realize that, like, oh my god, this player would have probably shredded us today without De Bruyne? Ilkay Gundogan.
Right.
If Gundogan was in his game, Chelsea will play, but this will not be the outcome. Because what Benny said about Haaland missing those pinpoint passes, I think we underestimate. Maybe he's just an exceptional player, which I believe he is. But that number 10 that can create in tight spaces, and the weight of the pass, key thing, weight of the pass on the right side for the attacking player is so. I don't know if you can teach it. I guess you can teach it. You can show it. I've seen academies where they talk about it. But instinctively to know that, I'm seeing this guy run and I will spin the ball enough to his advantage against the defender.
All right.
We underestimate how powerful that stuff is with the likes of KDB, Bernardo Silva's, Ike Gundogan, Xavi, Iniesta.
Silva was played out of position today, in my opinion. He was played out of position.
Yeah.
If he had been pushed a little further up, for day, would have been in trouble. He was playing next to Rodri, essentially, so that was good.
But then you have
these comments real quick. Says, why did y'all think we would lose badly? Last 4 games against City ended 1-0 against us, and that includes our trashy last season. Worst case, I thought we would lose 2-1. Okay.
That's true and wrong in his first time. Like,
I think maybe he's saying that he thought you would lose, but not demolished.
I didn't think we'd lose badly.
Okay.
Do you remember?
Improvement, because I have said earlier that he thinks you guys will improve in the second half of the season with Nkunku, and he goes, of course, the ultimate improvement will come from the next set of signings during the summer. That will determine if they make the next step and become a top 4 side. But
we are not signing anybody. We are not signing anybody.
You guys have signed enough. FF is going to get that. Next one says Chelsea eventually figured out the high line against Spurs, though. So they're referring to your discussion about how y'all played against Spurs. Yeah, it was
eventually,
but come on.
I mean, it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing, man.
And like, what else is there?
That's like watching your child that you spent 10,000 a semester for going to school doing B. You're like, he eventually got it. Are you mad?
He eventually got it. Let me clap for them, because he eventually. You get to see, you start collecting beating.
Penny, I'll give you 1 minute to tell me your answer this question. The best player of the season for you. Idris told us his best player so far has been Conor Gallagher. Who's your best player? Is it like picking from?
it makes me it makes me 100% sick to my stomach to say this because I've been against this guy being a Chelsea player for as long as he's been a Chelsea player because I just feel like he's not elite enough. But then again, we're not in an elite position, so maybe he's perfect for the club right now. I agree with Idris. Conor Gallagher has been it has been immense. I don't like him. First of all, I don't like him.
Don't like
I
him.
won't, I don't like him as a player. I've been on this crusade of get this guy out of the club. He belongs to Crystal Palace, but then again, we're in Crystal Palace position right now, so it's not. I can't really complain too much. So I'm gonna go with Conor Gallagher. And okay, I'm not good. I'm going to ignore that comment from David right now because we just opened on that kind of worms. But Conor Gallagher has been great. He is for his running and everything, for his industry, I should say. He hustles. I call him Energizer Bunny. He runs everywhere. He's doing a lot of marking. Last season, he was doing a lot of running with no outcome. But then again, we're trying to be something we're not. This season, he has found a home in mid-table Chelsea. Let's see what happens if we move up. Once we actually, didn't I just say that? That's kind of what I said.
Can you go back to his last comment? I actually wanted to read that last comment. Actually reviewed. Headed in the right direction.
David, Mr. XG, Mr. GPS, talking about direction everywhere. I don't know why you're working for whoever you're working for. Go and work for Garmin or for Google Maps or something. Everything direction. Well, don't worry. Conor Gallagher has proven me wrong over and over and over again. So I'm going to slow on the whole anti-Conor Gallagher on rhetoric. But yeah, he's been the best player so far, the most reliable one so far this season. Yes,
most reliable, consistent. Like it.
Okay. Sorry, I'm my throat. All right.
You need Baba Blue or Trevor, whichever you want.
Or some water.
But yeah,
hey, it's London is blue today, so hey, just saying, Baba Blue. Let's go.
We'll let y'all have that. Okay. Let's move on to the next topic. Suggestions for cure for VAR. Managers to get 3 challenges, scrap VAR. Olan's supposed to join us for this segment. See if he hops on. Let's see. Okay, well, yeah.
Waiting for it.
We don't really have to wait, but I can't really talk, so I'll let y'all talk. Suggestions for cure for VAR. I mean, I've had a lot of suggestions even before VAR came, just because me and Ola have talked about this. I watch. Oh, there it goes. But I watch a lot of other sports, and we have a lot of challenges in these other sports. Like with time, they've been trying to make these sports perfect, make them try to remove mistakes from the game, try to remove inconsistencies from the game. Football, I get it. There are a lot of differences between football and tennis, between football and American football. But you have to imagine that there has to be a way to resolve some of these inconsistencies. And I hate to use my team as an example, but it's just week to week, right? So let's use my team as an example. We saw last week against Newcastle a foul before their goal where there was a push against Gabriel that wasn't called. And they came to a consensus to say that it was acceptable. Or not, I don't even know if they said it was acceptable. The way they phrased it was that the goal should have been given, which it was given, meaning that the foul was allowed, in my opinion. And then yesterday, pretty much 4 days later or 5 days later, we see Bukayo Saka push a player in their box against Burnley, and they blew the whistle dead, pretty much like 2 seconds after, meaning that we couldn't capitalize on whatever. And there was pressure building in that play. The goalkeeper had to make a save, but they would have ruled out anything if the goal had gone in because they blew the whistle in that moment. Now, my question is, why can't these calls be consistent? or the fact that we got a red card under the same referee, right? Michael Oliver gives us a red card in our game because I'm sure he's thinking that this game is irrelevant. We've already won. If I take Fabio off of this game for a foul that was a legit foul, a red cardable foul, fine. If I take him out of this game, it doesn't really affect it may not really affect the outcome, right? I'm like, no, that's not true because technically, if you are taking out Kovacic from our game when we played City, went before the ref and you saw him kick our players twice, one was a red cardable offense. Either way, it would have been 2 yellows and nothing happened. When you're trying to let the balance of the game happen that way, what is your point? Because you can say you're trying to keep things level, but a red card, straight red card takes our player out for how long? 3 games. Isn't that right? 3 games immediately. So I don't have Odegaard as a team. I don't have Odegaard. I don't have ESR. I don't have Partey. And now you're taking out Fabio because I'm going to call a red today, but I'm not going to call it the other day. If you had done it the other day, Kovacic comes back, 2 yellows. He comes back after 1 game. So these decisions affect everything we do. And if you're not consistent about it, you're being partial. That's why we see personality everywhere. We don't like it.
Yeah, of course.
Go for it.
Oh yeah. I've come to rant again. I've come to rant about, and I think people might think it's tiring to keep ranting, but I think the more noise we make, generally, eventually trend upwards. So the first thing I will address is this committee that you mentioned, the committee that said, oh, the goal for Arsenal should have stood, and the goal for Newcastle should have stood against Arsenal. That committee is even irrelevant. Why do they even have that committee? Because it's not PGMOL. I replied you today. It's not a PGMOL. It's an independent review committee. They look at the decisions. Oh yeah, they did that against Liverpool. Like when we got 2 red cards against Spurs, they said Jota shouldn't have gotten a red card, but they didn't overturn it because they don't have the power to do that. They just look at the decision and then they give their opinion. So what's the relevance? Why are you giving us your opinions when you cannot turn the decision over? So that committee is useless in my view. It's because they're saying, okay, for example, they even said Kai Havertz should have gotten a red card. So okay, yeah. So he should have gotten a red card, but then he didn't get a red card, so he didn't miss the next 3 games anyway. So why are you telling us Kai Havertz should have gotten a red card? So I'm just addressing that part of it. That committee, I don't know why they're doing this independent review committee. Is useless because they're not improving anyway. So the main thing about VAR for me is, unfortunately, we can't get rid of VAR. So we're going to live with it. My biggest issue, like you mentioned, EJ, is the inconsistency. And I think, well, it's true. Sometimes there'll be inconsistency, but it's just crazy. Like you gave like 3, for examples for Arsenal. I can give you 2, 3 for Liverpool straight away. Like this season, major ones. I'm not even talking about the goal that was legit that they forgot to give to us. I'm talking about like Van Dijk's red card against Newcastle. We got 4 red cards within 6 games. This is 4 red cards. Van Dijk's one, they gave him an extra ban because he told the referee this is an effing joke. He was supposed to get only a 1-game ban, but because he said this is an effing joke, they gave him 1 game extra.
Oh my God.
1 game extra. And we see other players going to referee to curse at referee, they don't give them any card.
Yes.
Then there was one.
At
the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the season, this was the guideline. They said if they tackle you and you do like this, you wave a card, then the referee should book you. They booked McAllister for Liverpool for that in the first.
You said McAllister, they booked all Jackson's yellow cards, the first 5 he collected.
For doing that. But then other players would do it, but they won't do anything. Like you'd be like, this guy did the same thing. Like in the Spurs game, there was their player that was waving the card, Udogie. He was waving card, referee in the face. They didn't give him a yellow card. So all of us have many examples. Idris will have examples for Chelsea. Man United fans will have examples. For me, the one that I feel sorry for the most is the Wolves guy. Honestly, EJ, if you look at all the atrocities Wolves have suffered this season, man, they should be the one putting out a statement every week. Wolves, the bad decisions they've gotten every single week. And so we're at this point where almost every team is suffering. So, okay, what's the way forward? Because all of us are good at complaining. Yes, we're good at complaining. We're good at shouting. So the reforms, EJ will know this. I think before VAR came in, we had a discussion, and both of us were like, wouldn't it be nice if they put in a challenge system in football? But the thing is, football is so arrogant. These guys implemented a system, and they don't want to learn from other sports. They just say, oh, we just do it blind. They're not taking from rugby. They're not taking from tennis. They're not taking from NFL. They just want to do it their own way, and they're messing it up. So now
So
the way forward, in my opinion, is still the challenge system. I don't see any coherent arguments against the challenge system. And for example, if we do the challenge system, we'll say, okay, each team will get one challenge per half. So that limits VAR intervention. VAR will not do anything unless the team captain says, we want to challenge this incident. So for that straight away, it removes VAR putting their nose every few minutes. That reduces the interference. And then after the challenge system, you can only use it once, and you must, like within, in tennis, like EJ, if you want to challenge, you challenge straight away.
Yes.
So the challenge system will be like, or if you see something, you challenge within 10 seconds. Within 10 seconds, make your challenge. Not that you go and look at the screen somewhere and say, oh, we want to spend 2 minutes before we make our challenge. No. Within 10 seconds, make your challenge. And then if you lose it, that's gone. So that reduces interference on VAR. That puts the pressure back onto the team to make a judgment call. So the judgment call is not on these officials who are incompetent anyway. The judgment call is now on you as a team to say, do we want to challenge that? Do we want to challenge that decision?
Let me ask you this.
But
when you say challenge, what are the things that if you were supposed to make a proposal, if you're going to make a proposal right now, what items, what parts of the game would you consider challengeable?
What are the things that are challenging now, which technically should be red cards, goals being scored. Those are the two biggest fields, red cards and goal being scored. Offside should not really be a challengeable thing because offside should be black and white.
It should be measurable. Yes.
It's measurable. But unfortunately, even you yourself, you know that sometimes the way they draw the lines, it doesn't make sense. Sometimes they'll say they don't have the camera angle. There was one offside Liverpool suffered against in the Emirates that Arsenal scored from. They said they couldn't find the camera angle, and Saka looked offside, but they couldn't find the camera angle to prove it was offside. So even the offside is even dodgy. And my final point is this. I don't understand why the media did not make a big fuss. This news came out after the Liverpool Spurs game. Premier League officials are going to Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates to referee games. That is a major conflict of interest. You shouldn't be having your referees go to places where clubs that are owned by UAE and clubs that are owned by Saudi Arabia are in the Premier League. So that's why I told EJ the last time we spoke about it. I said, I don't blame Arsenal fans for thinking Michael Oliver he's taking brown envelopes because he went to referee in Saudi Arabia. He went to referee in UAE. And you're letting your referees go there. So I don't blame people start putting 2 and 2 together to get 5. Because you'll be like, oh, maybe this guy, they took money from these guys over there now that are coming to do nonsense. Why are you letting your referees do that? It's a conflict of interest. It's a conflict of interest. So that's what I feel.
May I, Ola? I a couple of things that you said. That last part I disagree. And I think it's okay if
which other league does that, Idris?
No.
Which other league does
that? Let me land on why I think it should be in the best interest of Premier League refs to go abroad and also work. Maybe not in Europe does this happen, but I know for sure in the Middle East they share resources like that because they just don't have enough. In Africa, even in the Champions League, there are times where the referees are loaned across, not Champions League, even like league games, so that they can have like experience and also improvement of the game. To me, it's not a big deal. I would hope that as you're trying to further the integrity of the game, that will not be something that will be happening. But I see the fear. I acknowledge the potential of that to be a thing. Like I'm not saying we are humans are flawed. That could be an issue. But I also see the positives of them being outside because from the beginning of when you started the rant on the referees and VAR, which I totally agree with you on, there was one thing that stuck out with me, and anybody that is English here should take this to heart in the sense of like there's some form of arrogance here with the way they do their things and their institutions over the years. The Italian Serie A is not having this issue per se, right? Spanish league is not having this issue per se. And I watched the Spanish league. The Bundesliga is not having this issue. Like they quickly look at this stuff. They quickly look at this stuff and they know how to quickly rectify. Even Nigeria League where I don't watch, right? That they are
you're going too far. You're going too far.
No.
I've gone a little too far. Come back. Your point's on misread. Come back.
No, because I watched all the CAF Champions League and we've seen them contest calls. We've seen them look at some VAR calls and look at it again. The reason where I'm going with my argument is it's a cultural issue here. Not to say the English culture is shit, but we cannot take away from the fact that there's some form of elitism going on here. That you cannot question the institution. You cannot do this. Some refs would be so rude, so blatant when a foreign player seems to be enigmatic or like emotional or expressive. I don't want to use the word emotional because emotional is just very rude at this point. I can be an emotional person. We are all emotional in some sort of way. It just depends on how we actually express it, right? Like if I'm expressing myself and I'm saying, hey, as an Italian, I'm doing all this. And I know maybe in the English culture, I don't like people doing all this all the time. We can find ways to warn players and talk to players. The last game, I can't remember, was it the Tottenham game or something? I can't remember his name. Before he carded you, he told you why he was carding you, or he told you why he was having a call, like almost like an educational session. This is why I'm making this decision. This is what I saw. And you could tell like the tempo, although the game was high, the tempo was kind of like maintained.
I remember that, yeah. I think it was Chelsea Spurs or something, yeah.
Chelsea gets Spurs. Even when you went to card the Spurs manager, you could totally see him explaining to the guy why he was going to card him. And
that's the way it should be.
And that's the way it should be.
Explain to the fans. I'm telling you.
Exactly. That's what it should be.
Pause the game and tell you what you're doing.
Exactly. But if you don't give that room of conversation with the captains, with players expressing themselves, with the idea that Ola is coming up and say, I want to contest that call. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not even having that, then you're killing the game emotionally and what people, it becomes too robotic and it becomes like, and then when you make mistakes, like the one that they found out, I cannot remember which game it was where the recording was released. What stops you from going back to go and be like, hey guys, we got it wrong, bro. Sorry.
So that particular one, it was quite poignant, the fact that they wanted to uphold the system so much they're willing to go with a wrong decision, a clearly wrong decision that was known.
That was unreasonable.
So it's they were like, oh, we would rather err on the side of just keeping the status quo than breaking the mold to make the right call. So that it speaks volumes to like just the culture, and to me, the referee in the UK.
God bless. That's where I'm going. Like Ben, I think the issue, from what I've watched in the Premier League, has been a cultural thing. I may be wrong, because it's just weird that it can be that wrong.
I might disagree there. I might disagree there.
The process, because
I think we don't have. I think we don't have enough data. The thing is, we watch. This is the truth. Out of 100 matches you watch in a year, at least 80 will be like Premier League matches. How many of us really watch Serie A regularly? How many of us watch Bundesliga? They also have their problems. I listen to different podcasts where they analyze different leagues, and they also have problems with VAR. Now, the reason why it looks worse in England is because we watch England more. Because out of 100 matches, we're watching like 80 matches, 90 matches per year. So I don't dispute the fact that, yes, in England, they have these elitists and they have this form of arrogance. It is there.
Like institutional, institutional. I will toe the line and I will not.
It is definitely there. See Howard Webb. Yeah. Howard Webb is the PGMO champ. See the way he behaves. He has that oxy demeanor. He has that. I am a school teacher. You cannot talk to me.
He's a cop, right? I think it was a copper, right? Like was it a policeman?
Yeah. So I agree with you that they do have that. They have that kind of form of arrogance. But the way forward, I can see some comments like they're saying, David is saying, "How will you challenge? Will challenging change their opinion?" When I'm talking about challenging, yes.
Sorry,
when I'm talking about challenging. VAR don't have any interference at all. VAR will only interfere when the captain says we want to challenge this. So, and now I take the point that it's true. It's still the VAR that will still look at the challenge, but at least it limits their interference. At the moment, they are putting their nose every 5 minutes. They are chucking their nose everywhere. Yeah. They are looking at tackles that are 50-50. They are looking at small pulls. Look at City getting soft penalties because VAR is looking at it and saying, "Oh, somebody put somebody." They're putting their. It's too much. That's why we're getting angry. Because every few minutes there's an incident that VAR is they're reviewing it. So let's limit their interference.
I disagree with you there. I think they need to be involved everywhere, but they need to be calling these things like as if they were a referee on the field. And the referee on the field also needs to do his job. Why is anyone getting a soft penalty? If there's a screen there, like if you watch you're on the field, you're seeing something.
Thank you.
That's fine. Unless it's blatant, you shouldn't be changing your mind. Did they tell him to go to the screen to go look at it?
No, they always say it's clear and obvious. See, this is the problem. The way they word the laws, they'll say, "Oh, maybe it was a clear and obvious error." Now, clear and obvious is a broad term. What is
It's
clear
very broad.
and obvious to me is different from what is clear and obvious to Idris. It's different from what is clear and obvious to EJ. So clear and obvious is a nonsense term because they are hiding behind it. So they'll tell you, oh, that referee saw it, but maybe clear and obviously he shouldn't have given the red card, or he should have given a red card. And they hide behind that. So it's a broad term to justify any form of decision. Any form of decision they want to take, they can hide behind it and say, oh, it was a clear and obvious error. But clear and obvious is not the same for all of us. What you think is clear and obvious is not what I think is clear and obvious. So it's always going to be a subjective decision. It's always going to be somebody's opinion. So that's why I think it's just remove their interference totally. Remove VAR's interference totally, unless the team wants it.
I don't know. I think VAR has been.
That would make sense.
I think
the only way the challenge thing would work is if they're not already doing it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, then so going back. So two things. Going back to the challenge issue now, when you say maybe the captain on the field can make that challenge, bear in mind he doesn't have the benefit of replay, of like instant replay.
Yeah, he'll be the coach. It can't be the
That's
captain.
the point.
All right.
That's the
And
point.
if you want the coach, all right. So
look worse.
You have a 10-second gap there, and this is probably secondary. What if you don't get that replay and that's 10 seconds or whatever? Then you start disputing all that. It figures 15 seconds or whatever. But okay, back to VAR though.
No, you don't need a replay. It should be in real time. That's one of the problems with
VAR.
That's the thing. A lot of things that you challenge, you're saying the ref is there, who usually has a better vision, a better view than the coach.
Yes, and if he's wrong, he's wrong.
And if it's wrong, it's wrong. But then now you're saying that you want to give a coach who is further away that opportunity to challenge the ref who is closer. Are you saying the ref isn't seeing it properly, or are you suggesting the ref is corrupt?
We're suggesting that the ref did not call it,
so,
and called it. Therefore,
now, is that an issue of the ref being corrupt or not being trained enough? Is that the issue?
Okay, I'll give an example with American
football.
It's not being
corrupt. It's not about corruption.
It's like, honestly, if a toe is out of the line, like let's say this is the line and a toe is out and they don't call it, and one of the coaches, they have people watching the game from all sorts.
Right. All right.
And they see that toe out, they're going to challenge it. Then cameras come in, they look. If the toe is in the line, it's fair. You get your challenge deducted.
I watch football too. I know what you're talking about.
Those little things.
So that's, you say, okay, each team go and get your own camera system right now. Get your own camera team to be looking out for all these little things and whatever. Is that more feasible than just saying, hey, let's train these refs better? This game has been around for what? Over 100 years.
Yes.
Over 100 years. And in that period, some monumental decisions have gone against certain teams. The VAR coming in is to reduce that possibility, and for better or worse, it has done that. Now the refs have been trashed in England. Let's be honest. I watch Bundesliga a lot too. I watch the French league. I watch the Spanish league. A lot of the leagues. It is no coincidence that most of the world class refs are not English. It's no coincidence that when you go to tournaments, major tournaments, you don't see a lot of English refs there. It's no coincidence. It's because they're not good. They're just not that good. They're not good. For instance,
they're very wealthy. They're in a wealthy league that has influence. Doesn't mean that
they feel like they're the best league. When you start hearing, the English league is the Premier League is the greatest in the world. I feel like I work in Premier League. I'm infallible. I can't be wrong. And that's why there's a lot of scrutiny there, because they're not that good. They're not well trained.
I agree with
you can see they don't communicate well. So instead of adding all this extra,
maybe one English.
Was there an English ref there? Was he there?
Only one, I think.
I know there was a major tournament that there was no English ref. Either it was the Euros or the World Cup. I forget, but maybe it was just one.
The one before that,
maybe
there was none.
But you see a pattern there. You see a pattern right there. They are not well trained. They are not good enough. Because before you pick these refs, they look at their performances now in their games. Okay, how do you ref in their games? Is this guy good enough? Let's go and see the games he has been reffing. And they graded these guys on their own singular test, and they failed. So these guys are not that good enough. Let's just be honest about that. Because I watched
I'm with Benny on this, man. Like
the
Mike
game. I watched the game.
Explaining Tottenham Chelsea game. Mike Oliver was the only one that had seen the World Cup, as Benny said.
What was it called? Bayern versus one other team. First half, 3 red cards. 3 red cards, and each instance VAR interceded. And I was like, man, normally if this were in England, riots would not happen for you. 3 red cards in the first half, and those players saw it. The ref went through the motions, the same thing, and gave like the punishments there, and everyone was like, okay, that makes sense.
Red card.
Like that's to me, I was like, what the hell? Are they okay with this? And I looked at it like, okay, the guy actually made the right calls here. VAR intervened, and they made the right calls afterwards. So if you use it right, it will bring the right results. That's the thing. Coach, these refs are not good enough. That's just the God honest truth.
And they have a pattern of being, that inconsistency comes from the fact that 1, they are arrogant, and 2, they think that English football is tough and we should allow some of these plays to go through, and we need to keep the game level, and we're the ones on the field controlling everything, and we have to make these decisions. And to be matter if it's consistent or not. Like if you give them a microphone and make them come and talk in front of us and tell us what they're doing. Back to my Arsenal City example, if Kovacic had hit that guy on the shin and Michael Oliver has a mic and has to come and tell the fans why he's giving a red card or yellow card, I don't think I should do a yellow card. It's not going to make it right now.
EJ, Michael Oliver will have said, "Aye, you are no siam."
Exactly, and it makes no sense. I think
you guys
they do. Explain your reasons.
Speaking of the arrogance, remember when Mike Dean went to the podcast because he retired, and I went to that podcast and I started saying, "Oh, I remember the game Tottenham versus Chelsea, and when Romero pulled Cucurella by his hair. I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to put my mates in it. What kind of nonsense? If I was the other podcast, I would slap her for there. Like, what kind of nonsense are you talking in your mouth? Even if that's true, you don't say that out loud. But the fact that you can say that just shows the arrogance. In all of them,
I think
there's an arrogance. It makes no damn sense.
To be honest with you, Ben, I'm actually to be honest with you guys, I will pull back on that thing that he said. Maybe we should look at it as a cry for help. Maybe himself be fear say, no, let's be honest. Wait, guys, like reason with me. I mean, all I see how they go with this thing. If we were saying that we are that these guys told us so much. They follow what this guy is saying. You should just no, take out now. Say, oh, if I go against EGO, I'm not gonna keep my job with these guys. It's almost like that blue line that we're talking about. You know, I said that like these guys come out. There's already a chip on their shoulder, no doubt. There's also a cultural difference when other people are like, oh, I don't understand why my whatever they make you feel some type of way that you're brandishing card. Like Mourinho was at one point in time looking at the refs like when he came back to the Premier League, like, why are you jumping? Like this is something we used to do back in the Chelsea days. You know, things are changing now, and they're like, wondering why are you so soft, or why can't you make this decision? And this guy is saying on a podcast that, hey, I didn't want to throw my mate under the bus. Then we also saw the guys. The guy was not like, yo, we should call that team back. The guy was just like, shit.
I say we can't do that anymore. We can't do it anymore because the players continued. We can't do that anymore.
Exactly. So there is a culture.
I think it just started very badly. This season.
Yeah.
This season, I think if you guys remember the very first game of the season, I think it just set the tone for the season. It was Wolves against Man United at Old Trafford. And Onana comes out like a boxer, double fist, punch this guy in the head. And they said no penalty. And what's annoying?
He did one kind of anime punch.
And then he kept playing like as if he
kept playing as if it did nothing. As if nothing happened. This is normal. It's normal, right? Okay. Boom. Give the guy double.
It's not even just the decision. What annoyed me, I saw the referee jogging to the side. I thought, oh, referee is going to look at the monitor for this incident. I just saw him bring a yellow card for the Wolves manager for complaining. That just set the tone for this season. Like these people, they want respect.
Monitor what? Monitor
even willing to.
Yes. You
people, you want respect, but you are not willing to be better to earn your. You are not earning this respect. You went to give this guy yellow card for complaining about a clear foul, and that's what happened today. So they just give yellow cards. If you talk small, they give you yellow card. But meanwhile, they themselves are doing that job badly.
The referees
I don't understand the whole complaint about refs. I don't understand that. Isn't it an independent organization? Is it part of the EPL? Like
it's the new guidelines. It's the new guidelines. Yeah. Don't complain about the ref. Don't.
No, EJ. It's also the again. You saw where we were going with the initial conversation of oh, these guys are going to the Middle East, and there might be some hikey-packing here, and then you are now questioning the integrity of the supposed process or potentially the individuals participating in the process, right? That is what they are trying to do. You can't keep bashing the ref because they're doing their job. But what they haven't given is the outlet that everybody is saying, if this guy is wrong, this person is infallible as a human being, there should be recourse. There should be a way we can actually have conversation to address the issue rather than 10 toes down on, I don't call my guy out. Oh, players already going on, let's go.
They
And it's like, I'm watching it.
Can they go on strike?
They punish them by giving them a week off.
They can.
By giving them a week off. They'll say, oh, we punish this referee for messing up. And they'll say,
Did they demote this guy and our ref
for 1 week.
Our ref this today? Didn't they demote him for one game?
1 day.
Yeah,
Went there and called
he was in the championship.
He went to championship one game and called one of the stupidest penalties I've ever seen in my life. And they brought him back to come and
Exactly.
And you call
that fire referee.
That's what
So
I mean.
I think when we're talking about
get better. You guys are saying you can train them to get better. It will get better. These guys will not get better.
I don't believe it will.
David actually had the post. He said we should outsource our ref. And I agree. I agree.
You're saying outsource the ref for challenges. I agree with that. Because now I know
No, the guy said outsource the whole department. Outsource the whole department. Let
you say outsource the whole department.
Let everybody come and outsource the whole department. Let everybody come. And if you are good, you are good. You're not good, you go home.
Bro.
I don't see why it all has to be English. I don't see
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to. Is it not football? Is it not talk? Most of the players are not even English anyway. It's not football.
You need diversity there.
I think it was De Zerbi. It was either De Zerbi or Pochettino that said that I have faith in VAR and all that. I have faith in it. It's just it's like VAR is like a car.
It's Poch. It's Poch.
What's the Poch?
Poch, yeah.
So think about all these extra additions we're talking about. It's like adding defenders, like shining the wheels, putting V6 on top, putting turbo, whatever on the engines or whatever. If the driver is trash, it's going to be trash. And the driver is the referee here. So the referees are the main issue. Let's say all these challenges, whatever. Yeah. But in the end, they make the decisions. And if no matter what you show I shouldn't say that before they cancel me. But no matter what you show somebody that can't look, if the head is
about the challenge, the reason why I talk about the challenge is because I believe it's so deeply rooted. These guys, they are not going to. You say let's outsource. They won't do that. It's England. They won't do that.
Exactly.
They won't outsource.
Exactly.
They won't bring in new referees. This system has been in place.
That's
we
true.
were talking about the EJ. There's been only one black referee in like 20-something years in the Premier League. Only one black referee. Since that time, since 1990, whatever, 2000, over 20 years, there's been only one black referee. So do you think that's going to change? It's not going to change so easily. So in the meantime, let us limit their interference. Let's limit their putting their nose in the game, because you are saying, okay, let's train them to get better. It's true. That's in an ideal situation, we can train them so they get better. But who's going to train them? Is it our Webb that is useless himself? He is also useless. So who is going to train these people? Who's going to sack him? Nobody is sacking this guy. He's staying there forever. So how do we improve them? So in the meantime, let's just limit their influence, because anytime they choke mouth, anytime they put their nose in something, it doesn't feel they're going to get the right decision most of the time. It's true, they get decisions right. I'm not saying they don't get decisions right, but man, this season everybody's complaining. All of us. Chelsea fans have beef. Man United fans have, Liverpool have beef. Everybody has beef against them. All of us have beef against them.
The biggest beef, aside the fact that they might have bad calls, is the fact that there's no opportunity for redress. That's the part where I'm like,
and VAR is supposed to be that opportunity. VAR is supposed to be that opportunity.
For me now, giving up on VAR being the opportunity, because after I heard that call that they were talking to each other, it just tells you that like it's the culture, and when I mean culture, I'm not even just saying English culture. Like the work culture they've created in the Referees Association, the union, the Premier League is toxic. If you go against the grain, you might actually get punished for doing the right thing. And that's something we should. That's why I said that thing he said at the podcast might actually be a call for help that we were just laughing over. Because he's saying, I don't want to go against my mate. What does that mean? That's
what are they afraid of? When they go against their friends or whatever, what are they afraid of? Are they afraid of the fans? Like
no. They're afraid they won't get better. They won't get the big game.
They get ostracized. Your Ostracized.
They get ostracized. They won't get the big games. Yeah. They won't get to go to Champions League because they nominate them from the Premier League to go and ref in the Champions League.
But isn't wait. But isn't that how did that help them though? That isn't that like counter to like that doesn't help. If you miss such a big call, it doesn't help in the end.
Yes, you're right, Benny, because that's why UEFA doesn't pick them for the Euros and FIFA don't pick them for the World Cup.
So no, forget the culture. My dean is crazy. They're all on one profession now. They don't know what they're doing. They're just arrogant.
Together we are trash. Should EJ want to be great, we'll punish her.
I honestly think complaining in public forums, fans anyway, when they call these people out, yes, it's unproductive and it doesn't do much and it's everyone whatever, but I think they see these things, these refs see them, and then next time they behave a little bit better.
Oh yeah, the noise is filtering upwards. It is. Yeah. For example, after the Liverpool Spurs game, when people started shouting, this is crazy, they did a couple of reforms. They said, okay, we're going to tweak the communication process, so we won't just be saying check complete. Now they have to say check complete, goal given. Because people shouted. Because that's why I feel like when people are saying, "Oh, why are you guys shouting? Why is this hysteria?" Copyright.
I think that I was like the status quo of. I know he's listening.
In football, honestly, in football, many things change because of hysteria. Look at the goal line technology. Frank Lampard scored a goal in the World Cup. The ball crossed the line. They didn't see it. Next day, FIFA president, the next day, he said we're going to put in goal line technology because the noise was so loud. People were like, this is crazy. Things have to change. Things change because people shouted. So I don't understand why people think, we have to keep quiet and let everything No, we don't have to keep quiet. We will keep shouting until they improve. That's the only way. Or else they won't improve. I know, okay, to be little improvement, but at least it's something. Let's keep shouting, let's keep ranting. Eventually they will improve by force.
I just worry that, like, I hope something disastrous doesn't happen. Maybe a ref getting jumped.
It has happened already. For Liverpool, it was disastrous.
Oh my goodness! I'm just
Anthony Taylor. Mourinho nearly called the whole of Rome against Anthony Taylor Europa League final.
Oh yeah,
but that stupid call. I don't know how that's not a penalty. So clear and obvious. That guy just threw a face. Mourinho won't finish him.
But you see,
guy was leaving the airport. They were almost accosted him. Like everyone wanted to take a slap out of him.
They actually accosted him, but that's the thing. Look at a different culture. He came with his English way of doing rubbish. He came to a different culture, and they were like, "Yo, did you see it or didn't you see it?"
We don't do this. So did you see it? You didn't call it. All right.
We'll meet you for airport.
Time for beating.
That's why I said
we meet at the airport. Simple as that.
I don't condone violence against referees. I don't
condone violence, but they should catch head. Like, come on now.
But that's what we're afraid of, right? That's what I mentioned in the beginning when this conversation started. There are two sets of cultures I'm worried about. There is the English culture of we're just going to hold our institutions, but there's no an avenue for actually. Then there's the blue line that when we talk about couples, when couples step out of line, that they're not cautioned. When people in politics step out of the line, they're not cautioned. It's like you guys are just holding a line without caring of the consequences of what you're actually doing. And do you expect there not to be any blowback, which is very crazy. So for him to be that crap at home, then he now went abroad. I need to go and do it again.
I want to be crap abroad too.
It's like, guy, come.
Sure, we don't do that here. We don't do that here. No.
No, maybe it's for them to go to Saudi. Go and learn.
Go and get experience somewhere.
Learning in Saudi, that league just started.
They will learn fan violence. Fan violence they can learn.
Yeah, the season is long. But I can't imagine having two jobs, one in one country and one in another. You're an English Premier League ref. You have the competitions that you referee, and those are the ones that the players the teams in your country play. Why are you going to Saudi Arabia?
I think
Saudi Arabia.
I think it's a branding thing. I think some of the referees are making it for themselves. If Pierluigi Collina exists today, he will be in Saudi Arabia. That's just the truth about it. It's money. And the thing is, they probably. They're also.
EJ, what are you going for again? You're a ref. What are you going for again? Love of the game.
They're also trying to probably Deloitte their way or McKenzie their way into the understanding of we're outsourcing settings so that our own talent can see how it's done. My issue for Saudi,
we don't outsource anything.
No, this is me. I'm looking at like Saudis are sourcing to the wrong place. They should go to Syria and go to Bundesliga to get better talent.
They're not going to go and learn nothing. They're going to go and get money
optics.
and people in them.
That's the problem. Is the optics?
Yeah, I feel
For me,
like
it's the optics. I don't believe they are corrupt. I don't believe they are collecting brown envelopes. But it's the optics. It's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
You cannot be going to the UAE. In fact, I don't believe they're going to get there to get bribed, but it's just conflict of interest because people will just accuse you of things like that. They'll be like, "Oh, you just went to the UAE yesterday, and then you came to give Man City a soft penalty today." Of course, people will see that and say, "Why? Why are you going to the UAE and 2 days later you're giving City a soft penalty?"
I mean, it might not be straight brown envelope, but if you go and visit, who owns Man City?
It might not even be money.
If you go
Corruption
to
is not always about
UAE,
money.
it's not just money. If you go to UAE and they treat you well, welcome very much. Oh, we have a room for you here, 5-star hotel, you massage and everything. Anyway, where do you want to go? You have everything at your disposal. And then you go to London, where under Daniel Levy's whatever, and he's there complaining about you didn't give me that call, you didn't know that call. When Man City play Tottenham and Bernardo handles the ball just on the edge of the box, my guy will look away, and it's simple as that. It's just one of those things that it's unconscious bias because you are conditioned unconsciously to like, okay, I'll just favor these guys small, favor these guys. It's just
to be honest with you, I'm honestly, to be honest with you, for the growth of the game, I'm actually very torn with this. To be honest with you, I actually want to see referees rotate so they have a sense of different cultures. They have a sense of, because the game is what we're trying to improve. And I wouldn't mind if Europe to start, even African coaches, Latin American coaches, because I can't see any Premiership coach surviving in Latin America. Me, I know that for sure. They cannot survive there. They can't. Like, how many, you know what I mean? Like, how many red cards is he going to give for diving? Every day, red card for diving. So where are we going to start? Like, then and people are going to run into the stadium. The security is different there. Like, Boca Juniors is silver plate. You want the trophies. Trophies to wear. You're not
try Boca Juniors and River.
You understand?
Ref will not die. Anthony Taylor cannot ref Boca Juniors versus River Plate. Like.
So that's
fair though. Like, let's refer according to our city. We don't really.
Let's bring those refs. Let's bring those refs over to England. Bring those refs inside. If you can ref that game, you can ref anywhere. Bring them to England to come and make the right calls. For real.
So for me, in terms of like. So for me, when I'm looking like this topic, like I'm with you guys in terms of like the way it looks. Like I'm thinking differently, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't think about that. Like, you know, the optics are poor, but at the same time, if we're actually to look at like for the good of the game, for the sharing of cultures, for understanding sensitivity and stuff like that, maybe some of these guys need to really move around. In all fairness, just to see how things are being done. Like, it's not everything that is a card. I need explanation. Like, honestly,
if we're talking about culture, they should improve the culture back home in England. Let us have black referees, like Soji was saying there. Was saying there. He said they did not promote a black ref based on. I have the article in the Athletic. The referee, he passed. They put him out of 17. They put him 16th. No, I mean I think he passed. They put him almost at the bottom based on the fact that we have too many referees from that region already. Not based on his ability, which was quite good. But they said, we cannot put black referee because we already have too many referees from that region. How can you have a league? How can you have only one? It's only this season one made it as a linesman, as an assistant ref.
Yes, I saw only one. Yeah.
Only one. Finally, after how many years? And how
with the number of black British players, there's no reason why there shouldn't be that many black or as many black British refs. There are a lot of black people going into football. Like. Yeah, it's just.
Also, I wanted to ask a question. The same referees in the Premier League, do they also ref below? Because I heard something like, he was demoted. I don't like that term, demoted, because
it wasn't demoted.
Yeah, that's what it wasn't. So why did they use the? Why did like? Why?
Is a slap on the wrist? Slap on the wrist.
They don't referee championship games routinely anyway. Like if a championship team
my cultural bias is about to come out. I see these people always gaslighting us with stupid English. Man, I used to like this kind of rubbish because I was like, don't they work on the same level? I'm really sorry.
They'll say don't ref in championship for 1 week.
I ref in championship, and all those championships are like, what are we to you?
But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up by saying referees suck and we still need help. because we
Referee
have spent
sucks. I mean,
30 minutes on this topic alone.
Yeah,
Sorry.
sorry. Okay, it's my fault because
No, it
me-
was a good conversation on referees.
Great conversation. Appreciate
I
it.
think I think AJ, when you're chopping it, it's
Before I
like a
go,
referee conversation.
Yeah, it's gonna be easy to drop.
Before I go, sorry, EJ, just 2 minutes. I want to give big shout out to Emma Hayes, Chelsea fans. I know you appreciate her. Legend of the game, Emma Hayes. She's leaving Chelsea women's team after the season, going to US national team. She's a legend of the game. I've seen her analysis. It's not just the fact that she wins a lot, but she knows football. This woman can talk football.
We expected her to be the Chelsea coach instead of Lampard.
No
That's
jokes.
a
No
fact.
jokes.
We actually said it. She will have to handle both teams.
Wow.
And I think US national women's team have gotten a gem, and because she has 6 league titles.
Is it official now?
Yes.
Yeah, she's leaving at the end of the season. It's official. She's leaving at the end of the season. So shout out to MIAs. We have to recognize the women's game too. So shout out to her and big up to everybody.
Thanks and in the same vein, Thunder Fire Paul Winstanley, our technical director that refused.
I knew I was going to go there.
That's why I was just looking like MIAs. Yes, she should be staying. There's no reason she should be letting her leave Chelsea ever. Or Winstanley was like, oh, okay, we'll deal with that. But let me focus on other things first. We'll come back to this. Wow. And now we've lost the greatest women coach we've ever had in our history.
So is that your donkey of the week, or you want to pick someone else?
It might as well be Paul Winstanley.
All right, who's your kudos, Idris?
Oh, my kudos of the week.
Yeah, we're jumping.
Chelsea Lomo, the whole team, Pochettino today for me, man. Because again, you're not understanding the trauma I was expecting in this game. So me, I'm going to go with Poch. The boys have they've tried. Even if they're grinding out wins, they've tried. So the whole team and the coaching staff.
Okay. And Ben, is that your kudos of the week?
No, I don't want to waste 2 kudos on. Or maybe I should. Is that still watching? Is David still watching? Nah. My kudos of the week, though, I'll give it to my man, my second team striker, Harry Kane. Our boy tearing it up. It just shows. It actually puts it in perspective that okay, this guy performed so well with not as great talent around him, and now we're finally starting to see his true potential. So it just shows how good a striker is. In my opinion, the best striker right now in the world. In my opinion.
Okay. It's Bundesliga, I beg.
Relax, Bundesliga. Bundesliga that Nkunku couldn't score more than 16 goals.
Wow. Yeah, I give my kudos to Chelsea. I think I didn't expect to see what I saw today. Even though I didn't watch the match, I didn't expect that they would even compete, really. I just thought that City would get 3 points and we'd move on. Everyone is saying it was a great game. It was the best game of the season. So if you guys it's the best game of the season, that, especially coming from your position on the table and everything and just ups and downs in your team, I think you deserve the accolades today. Maybe not next week. We'll see.
Next week is international break. Calm down. It's international break. Don't worry.
What about your donkeys?
Donkey Idris. I already gave my donkey. Paul Stanley.
Your donkey.
I would go with the refs. The refs are the whole Premiership ref institution is
perpetual donkeys.
Like perpetual donkeys. When you think about their influence throughout the entire week, last week, this season, it's really been tough for many. So
I go with Michael Oliver in particular.
Really?
For giving us a red card when he didn't give that team a red card.
And funny enough, he's been the best. He's actually been the best English referee, unfortunately.
He's usually my number 2, but
damn.
I don't know. There's something off about he's trying not to insert himself in the game and also insert
in the game, yeah.
Games. I don't understand that. So he needs to be consistent. Until then, he can hold that donkey.
I've never seen Soji just outrightly curse in public. This is serious.
Yeah, and me both. Soji, I don't like Pep either. I don't like Pep. Bush.
Okay, yeah, we have gotten to the end. Woo, an hour and a half. This is my longest podcast. Good job, guys. But yeah, an hour and a half. End of the show. Appreciate you, Will, for coming on. Glad your technical issue resolved.
Thank God.
Yeah. So we'll have a week off and then we'll see everyone. Well, we'll probably have some next week. But yes, thank you all for hanging with us. We're out.
Alrighty.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you, EJ.